I find sports discourse super interesting, specifically the NBA for me, and to a lesser extent, MMA. And I find it interesting because it's not based in reality. Damn near none of it, whether it be from media or from the fans, it's not based in reality. The things that are being said are simply incorrect, hyperbolic, nonsensical statements that don't actually describe anything in the game. Whatever is being said, whether it be about the team or the player, whatever is about to be said is probably not true. Like Stephen A. Smith. Does Stephen A. Smith watch games? Yes, probably. Does Stephen A. Smith's character watch games? Absolutely not. That is some sort of vessel that exists to simply spout out hyperbolic takes that don't actually mean anything when looked at further. Because there's nothing to look at even further. Most of the statements made by a talking head is surface level at best, and that is actually it. It's surface level. There's nothing below it. None of these channels exist to teach you, the viewer, about basketball. You will learn nothing of value from anything that they say at any point because what they say is nonsense. See, if they talk about a player, they will so often talk about them in very vague, intangible terms. This player wanted it more than this player. They wanted to win more. They wanted to win more. Therefore, they won the game. That means nothing to anyone, you know? I love TNT on basketball, but I don't love them for their basketball analysis because it's terrible. It's nothing. It's literally useless. There's nothing of value being said by damn near any of these people. But they're very funny and they work off of each other very well. Also, on the whole wanting to win more thing, obviously intangibles like that are super present in sports. Mentality is a major factor. Plenty of athletes from whatever sports will talk about that. It's not this quantifiable measure, but it is present. I just hate the fact that sports media basically obsesses over it. To me, it just feels like it's a cop out and, just covering for the fact that they don't have anything to actually say in regards to like more quantifiable data. Also, it's so negative. It's so negative so often. And I know that's the way we've essentially crafted, the discourse to be. That's what the viewers said that they wanted. They wanted Stephen A. Smith. But it still sucks that it doesn't seem like most of them actually like the sport of basketball. Fans are also just volatile as hell. When you get a whole group of them together, when you get a group of fans, they are fair weather as it gets. They will turn on any player on a dime, game to game. The very same player, game to game. Take Karl Anthony Towns. He recently had a 62-point game. Amazing in a losing effort to the Charlotte Hornets. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And the reactions, as expected, very volatile. Clown, fraud, no heart, plays like an idiot, all of those things. And here's the thing. It was a bad loss. It was a stupid loss. They did things that they shouldn't have, and they were absolutely chasing points, even according to reports. But then you still step back, and then you look at the team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, number one in the Western Conference, a very stacked conference. And Karl Anthony Towns is an essential part of that team who's had an amazing year otherwise. If you look at any other thread about him, it's about how great they're all playing. If you look at a game about how they lost, it's probably about how Cat sucks. Fan-based discourse around any given player is going to give you the idea that they are a 10-faced son of a bitch who is going to burn your franchise to the ground, resurrect it, bring it right back to playoff contention, burn it back down to the ground, and then trade them. And quite frankly, for as much as I might think that it's stupid, I also don't actually hate it very much because after every single big game that an incredible team loses, people can just technically go, whatever, bad loss, move on, sure, but that's not nearly as fun as people being volatile and reactionary off the bat, alright? Every single time the Lakers lose, I will happily go to that post-game thread and see the absolute shit that is being thrown their way because, fuck them. But it would be nice if there was some more effort being put into people just trying to learn the game, especially if you actively watch it. Learning about the game that you watch is a much more entertaining way to make it better. It would be nice if any of these talking heads made any actual effort to tell people about the game that they supposedly love. Thinking Basketball is an amazing YouTube channel, and they get a lot of attention. There's clearly an audience for people that want to put some effort into learning about the game that they love to watch. It would at least be nice if it felt like those talking heads knew what they were talking about, you know? Shaquille O'Neal once said, "I'm not talking about Pascal, I'm talking about Siakam." And that wasn't some sort of clever metaphor for how Pascal is playing like half of himself. He simply didn't know that they were the same person. And listen, you can slander much more effectively if you know what you're talking about, even remotely.